A burst of thunder caused a 3-year-old to fly into her parents' bedroom. "Mommy, Mommy, I'm scared," she said. The mother, half awake and half unconscious, said to her daughter, "Go back to bed, sweetheart. God will be with you." The small figure stood in the unlit doorway for a moment and then responded softly, "Mommy, I'll stay in here and sleep with Daddy. You go in there and sleep with God." I can so relate to that little girl's story as a little boy growing up in Cleveland, Ohio. Under my bed, there was this metal vent cover on top of old creaky wood floors. And particularly in the wintertime, I would hear clanging noises coming out from that vent as though there were men, maybe even trolls, down there fashioning their weapons. And as soon as they were done, they were going to come out of that vent and get me. And I tried not to be scared. I really did try not to be scared. I have an older brother that if he heard wind of it, he would never let me live it down. I tried not to be scared, but several times in my early days, I succumbed to the fear and I burst out of my bedroom and jumped right in the middle of my parents' bed. Now I was completely safe. Nobody, man or troll, could get me now. I was safe. And you know what? It's interesting, my parents didn't do anything. My dad didn't even wake up. They were just there, and that was good enough. You know what that's called? That's called the power of presence. It's being with somebody who has authority and strength that makes you feel safe and at peace. This was the vision of God for us. In the opening pages of the Bible, God creates the vast universe and the awesome earth and ultimately a garden in the center of it all for the express purpose of coming down and being with Adam and Eve, to hang out with them. The Bible tells us in the earlier pages that he actually took walks with them in the cool of the day. How awesome is that, to actually be in the presence of God. Walks during the day, in the same room with us at night. This is a powerful and comforting idea. Why would we ever need to be afraid again? But you know the story. Adam and Eve made a choice that day that changed everything. Their decision not to embrace the vision of God by eating of the fruit that God told them not to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil created a barrier between God and his people. It's called sin. And that sin nature that separated Adam and Eve from God is transmitted to every one of their offspring, you and I, so that we were born with this spiritual disease flowing through our veins. And we are conceived and born separated from God. And it tells us in the story that Adam and Eve were escorted out of the garden. And 2 angels called cherubim, these angels with mighty wings, are placed in front of the garden with these star-like swords, laser lights, if you will, to guard, to keep any person entering into the Garden of Eden. God was now above, overseeing things, but he wasn't among them. And you know what? That's not the same thing.